Hello everybody, Bobster1984 here again, and it's preview and prediction time for Newcastle United's final away game to Aston Villa tomorrow. Now, every week I say the same thing: it's the biggest game, it's the biggest game, it's the biggest game. But that's just the predicament that Newcastle find themselves in, being in the relegation zone towards the back end of the season. Now, I think in terms of the preparation, I think the team is more than likely going to be the same as it is. We've discovered recently that Rafa Benitez isn't scared to make the big decisions in terms of dropping players, bringing players on from the bench when he uses them for an impact. So I firmly believe that because the team is playing quite well, and obviously we got a good result in the win against Palace last week, that we'll start with the same team and bring on the impact subs like Mitrovic, Shelvey and Perez, as he's been doing recently. Now, the only change that could come in for tomorrow is Anita, obviously getting that knock against Palace last week. Janmaat is apparently ready to come back in, so that's the only question mark about the team as to whether it'll be the same as last week. I'm not really too fussed whether Anita goes out or whether Janmaat comes in. I think Anita's done a very, very good job. I would prefer to say Anita stay there. I think it would be really harsh for him to lose his place straight away for a player like Janmaat, who has been missing quite a bit recently since Christmas. But either way, I think we're going to get committed performances from either player. Now, the rest of the team, as I say, is fairly good, obvious is going to be the same. Now, the biggest issue is we're going to an already relegated team in Aston Villa. Obviously, we know they have lost 11 games in a row. It's their final game at home in the Premier League for God knows how long, depending on how long it takes for them to get promoted back to the Premier League. Are Aston Villa going to turn up and try to put on a show for the fans that obviously are so disgruntled, and rightly so? That's my biggest fear. Are Villa going to turn up and actually put in a performance? Because let's face it, Aston Villa have got absolutely nothing to play for, as we all know. But they might just look at Newcastle and say, you know what it is? We want to drag you down with us. Play his next season and actually, have our way against his next year. That could be the mentality. Personally, if I was a coach or, Eric Black, I would be saying the same thing. I would drag these bastards down with us. So we Newcastle have got to be very careful to think that if we're going to stroll down to Villa Park and easily get 3 points, we're going to have another thing coming. And I don't agree with the bookies who have got us as being, favourites like 2-1 on. How on earth can Newcastle, who have picked up a matter of like 4 to 10 points all season or something away from home? I don't know exactly how much it is. It might even be less. I think it's 8. We've scored barely 10 goals away from home. How can Newcastle be favourites like that to go? It baffles us. Anyway, if anyone's stupid enough to put money on Newcastle tomorrow, you're daft. But I think, I'm hesitant to get onto that wagon and say, Newcastle are going to steamroller Aston Villa tomorrow. I'm hesitant because I know it's not going to be an easy game. Newcastle might find out the result of the Norwich game, who obviously play at lunchtime at home to Man United. Might hopefully, fingers crossed, everything crossed that Norwich actually do lose against Man United. If that is the case, that should give us some more impetus to go and actually get the result against Villa. But too much rests on tomorrow. Tomorrow is the pivotal point. If everything goes our way, we get the 3 points and Norwich lose and Sunderland lose, we'll be 4 points clear of Sunderland in that relegation zone. And then you've got that game in hand against Everton. If they get a point and then beat Everton, they're ahead of us on goal difference. There's so much yet to play, and it all rests on what happens tomorrow for me. And I think it's absolutely huge. And I'm certainly, I might be coming across as not very confident here, but I'm quietly confident. But I'm not. I'm not one of these people I think we're going to steamroll over Villa. Not a chance. I think Villa are actually going to put up a fight, and with it being their last home game, are going to at least try, and that's the worry that we need to be wary of. I am, however, going to go for Newcastle to win 2-1, and I think that would be a fantastic result. I would take 1-0 with a dodgy penalty in the 95th minute right now. I don't care how we win. It's that stage of the season. I don't really care how we play football as long as we win. And that's basically it for me. So all of the attention this week has been thinking about what Villa are going to do, but we really need just to concentrate on what we can do. If we play football like we have done recently, we should be able to beat Aston Villa quite comfortably. What do you guys think? What is your prediction for tomorrow? Do you think Newcastle will field the same side? Who would you prefer at right back? Would you prefer Anita, or would you prefer Janmaat? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, keep your eye out for the review of the game, which will be out just after the final whistle. My name is Bobster1984. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.